Glad to see you back on Fast Quizzer.
Take a test of 50 questions about the solar system and see how well you understand space.
But first, subscribe to the Fast Quizzer channel so you don't miss any videos.
To warm up, I offer a few simple questions. Let's go. On which planet in the solar system was a hexagonal structure discovered at one of its poles? Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Saturn's North Pole has a massive, persistent hexagonal storm system. Which planet rotates in the opposite direction to its orbital motion? Uranus, Venus, Neptune. Venus rotates retrograde, spinning opposite to its orbit around the Sun. What is the average length of a day on the Moon? 27 Earth days, 7 Earth days, 14 Earth days. A lunar day lasts 27.3 Earth days, matching the Moon's orbit period. What is the approximate current distance of Voyager 1 from Earth? 23 billion kilometers, 10 billion kilometers, 5 billion kilometers. As of December 2024, Voyager 1 is approximately 24.9. What was Neil Armstrong's famous quote when he first stepped on the Moon? That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. To infinity and beyond, we came in peace for all mankind. That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. In what year did humans first land on the Moon? 1969, 1967, 1972. Apollo 11 landed on the Moon on July 20, 1969, with Neil Armstrong. Who was the first person in space? Alexei Leonov, Neil Armstrong, Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin flew aboard Vostok 1 on April 12, 1961. What instrument did Galileo Galilei first use to study planets? Sextant, astrolabe, telescope. Galileo used a telescope in 1609 to study Jupiter's moons and Saturn's. Which planet is named after the Roman god of the underworld? Neptune, Saturn, Pluto. Pluto was named after the Roman god of the underworld in 1930. Which goddess is the planet Venus named after in mythology? Goddess of war, goddess of love and beauty, goddess of the hunt. Venus is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Why is Jupiter's moon Europa famous? Its active volcanoes, its subsurface ocean, the largest atmosphere among moons. Europa likely has a subsurface ocean that may support extraterrestrial life. What substance predominantly covers Europa's surface? Iron, silicon, ice. Europa's surface is mostly water ice, hiding a possible subsurface ocean. Which planet appears most frequently in science fiction movies? Jupiter, Mars, Venus. Over 80 movies about Mars have been made since 1903. What crop did the protagonist of The Martian grow on Mars? Potatoes, wheat, carrots. In The Martian, Mark Watney grew potatoes to survive on Mars. Which planet in the solar system has active tectonic plates? Mars, Venus, Earth. Earth is the only planet with active plate tectonics reshaping its surface. What is considered the largest volcano in the solar system? Mauna Kea on Earth, Olympus Mons on Mars, Maxwell Montes on Venus. Olympus Mons on Mars is 22 kilometers high, the tallest volcano known. Which comet is the most famous and returns to Earth approximately every 76 years? Halley, Inc., Lovejoy. Halley's Comet orbits every 76 years, last seen in 1986. Which country was the first to launch an artificial Earth satellite? USSR, USA, China. The USSR launched Sputnik 1 on October 4, 1957, the first Earth. What was the first private company to successfully send a spacecraft into orbit? Blue Origin, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic. SpaceX launched Falcon 1 in 2008, becoming the first private firm in orbit. Which planet in the solar system is the hottest? Mercury, Venus, Mars. Venus is the hottest planet, reaching 475 degrees Celsius due to its thick. Here are the intermediate level questions. Ready? Start. Which planet in the solar system has the longest day compared to Earth? Venus, Jupiter, Mercury. Venus has the longest day, rotating once every 243 Earth days. Which largest moon has the densest atmospheric layer among all moons of the solar system? Ganymede, Titan, Europa. Titan's atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, with methane and trace gases. Which planet has the largest number of natural satellites? Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus. Jupiter has 95 confirmed moons, the highest number in the solar system. What primarily makes up Saturn's F-ring? Dust particles, ice chunks, silicate crystals. Saturn's F-ring ice chunks range from tiny grains to kilometers wide. Which space object was first classified as a dwarf planet? Pluto, Ceres, Eris. Ceres was the first dwarf planet, classified as such in 2006. Which of the following is the largest known moon in the solar system? Ganymede, Callisto, Titan. Ganymede is 1.5 times larger than the Moon, with a 5,206. What was the first interstellar object to visit the solar system? Oumuamua, Borisov, Hayabusa. Oumuamua is elongated, approximately 400 meters long, moving at What was the primary goal of Voyager 2 in studying the outer planets? Studying gas giant atmospheres, studying the moons of outer planets, studying planetary magnetospheres. Voyager 2's main goal was to study gas giant atmospheres and magnetospheres. Which comet has a snowman shape and was the first to have a spacecraft land on it? Churyumov-Gerasimenko, Halley, Borrelly. Comet 67P, Churyumov-Gerasimenko is approximately 4.3. What was the name of the object that collided with Jupiter in 1994? Shoemaker-Levy 9, Halley, Inc. Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 hit Jupiter in 1994, leaving massive dark spots. Where in the solar system, besides Earth, have liquid lakes or seas been discovered? Callisto, Europa, Titan. Titan has lakes and seas of liquid methane and ethane on its surface. Which French musician dedicated a composition to the Challenger shuttle disaster? Claude Debussy, Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis. Jean-Michel Jarre dedicated Ron's piece From Rendezvous to Challenger in 1980. When was the first successful landing of a spacecraft on Mars? 1965, 1976, 1981. Viking 1 landed on Mars on July 20, 1976, sending the first. What was the name of the first spacecraft to make a soft landing on Venus? Venera 7, Mariner 2, Venera 3. Venera 7 landed on Venus in 1970, sending data for 23 minutes. How many people have walked on the Moon? 14, 10, 12. Twelve astronauts walked on the Moon during Apollo missions, 1969 to 19. Which SpaceX spacecraft was the first to deliver humans to the ISS? Crew Dragon, Starship, Falcon Heavy. Crew Dragon flew astronauts to the ISS in 2020 on the Demo 2 mission. In what year did SpaceX successfully land the first stage of a rocket for the first time? 2015, 2017, 2014. SpaceX first landed a reusable rocket stage on December 21, 2015. What is the average closest distance from Earth to Mars? 54 million kilometers, 225 million kilometers, 78 million kilometers. Mars comes as close as 54 million kilometers to Earth during favorable oppositions. What is the distance from Earth to the Moon? 500,000 kilometers, 250,000 kilometers, 384,400 kilometers. The Moon orbits Earth at an average distance of 384,400 kilometers. What is the average distance from Earth to the Sun? 50 million kilometers, 300 million kilometers, 150 million kilometers. Earth orbits the Sun at an average distance of 150 million kilometers, 10. Which moons of Jupiter did Galileo discover? Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, Titan, Triton, Phobos, Deimos, Enceladus, Rhea, Mimas, Tethys. Galileo discovered Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto in 1610. What is depicted on the Golden Record of Voyager? Music, images, and messages from Earth, detailed maps of the solar system, instructions for assembling a spacecraft. Voyager's Golden Record holds sounds, images, and greetings for aliens. On which moon were signs of possible cryovolcanism discovered? Europa, Enceladus, Titan. Enceladus has cryovolcanoes that eject water ice and organic material. If you've made it this far, awesome. Now for the hard questions. Ready? What is the region of the solar system where icy and dusty comets orbit? Kuiper Belt, Oort Cloud, Asteroid Belt. The Oort Cloud is a distant region of icy bodies beyond Neptune. What is the boundary beyond which the temperature is low enough for water to remain frozen? Frost line, ice boundary, snow line. The snow line marks where water stays frozen in a protoplanetary disk. What is the name of the largest crater on the visible side of the Moon? Copernicus, Bailly, South Pole Aitken. The largest visible crater on the Moon is Bao'i, 303 kilometers wide. Which probe was the first to collect samples from an asteroid and return them to Earth? OSIRIS-REx, Hayabusa, Lunokhod. Hayabusa was the first probe to return asteroid samples in 2010. Which spacecraft first successfully approached a comet and sent data about its composition? Giotto, Rosetta, Voyager 2. Giotto studied Halley's Comet in 1986, sending detailed close-up images. What was the first mission to capture the pale blue dot image of Earth from deep space? Cassini, Apollo 11, Voyager 1. Voyager 1 captured the pale blue dot image from 6 billion kilometers in 1990. Which spacecraft first made a soft landing on Mars? Opportunity, Pathfinder, Viking 1. Viking 1 was the first to land softly on Mars and send images in 1976.
Choose your next challenge by clicking on one of the videos.